Yeah, hi there. And these comments, I'm going to use your initials DP, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you joined my online course either today or yesterday. So I woke up this morning, I went over to Cal State San Bernardino where I teach, and I saw your email notification from PayPal, but I also saw your question here, right? So number one, I've already enrolled you into my online TOEFL course. I sent you your username and your email. I sent you username and your password. Now, once you type in the username and the password, don't forget, David, that you want to type in your enrollment key, and the enrollment key is also in the email that I sent you. All right, so let's take a look at your situation. You say, I subscribed and paid for your account. I need my username and password immediately. I have some friends who want to attend your course too. Can I use same PayPal ID to make different usernames and passwords? I'm not sure what you're asking me here. Now, if you're asking me, can your friends use your password and your username? Also, I'm going to say no. Only the $45 payment that you made for each month, that's only for one user. Remember that you're going to start sending me speaking and writing practice tests. It takes a lot of time to grade all those things. I also have a teaching assistant who will be grading all of your writing practice tests. So just the PayPal ID is for one user, right? For that PayPal subscription that you created. Now, if you're asking me, can you make another payment, a separate payment for all of these other people? The answer is yes, but you got to be careful. So if you do make an additional payment, if you create an additional subscription, David, you need to tell me who it's going to be for. Tell me what their first name is, their last name, and then tell me what their email address is. But it's your responsibility, remember, if you create several subscriptions, that means that you have to cancel these subscriptions at your PayPal account when you no longer need to use my online course, or PayPal will bill you forever. Right? So keep track if you do that. So it is possible you can make payments for other people who want to use my course, but you can't have several people using my course for one payment. Does that make sense? I would not make any money at all. I would lose money. In fact, just by having you in my course, I'll probably lose money because I'm really a nonprofit organization, right? So I'm not trying to make a big profit or anything like that. I'm just trying to help students all over the world improve their English, all right? So I hope that we're on the same page with that. Okay, in your case, you say, I've never taken any TOEFL IBT test before because it is very expensive. Okay, you say, my aim is around 80 to 92 in 6 months. I will take the test at the end of October this year. I will study around 3 hours on the weekdays and 5 hours on the weekend. So you have 8 hours total each week. That is pretty good. If you do 8 hours every day between now and October, that's a lot of practice. You say, can you suggest a study plan for me and my friends? The answer is yes, of course I can. That's why you're emailing me, because you know I'm going to give you some information, right? Okay. For you and your friends, there's a lot of things that you can do right now that are not part of my online course. So I'm going to outline kind of two different things here. First, I'll talk about some general things that you can do that will help your academic English language proficiency. And then two, I'll talk about what you can do specifically in my online TOEFL course to get better. Right? Okay, so first of all, for you and your friends, start reading every day for about 30 to 45 minutes or whenever you have time during the week. Right? This is important. Now, also, when you're doing your reading practice, I recommend newspapers, magazines, and longer books. And don't worry if you don't understand everything right now of what you're reading. Eventually, you'll get better and better at this. Now, in addition to the reading practice, you should also be doing listening practice. My recommendation is English TV if you have it. So listen to news, documentary, history, and especially science programs, David. That's going to be very, very helpful for your academic English language abilities. Now, you're not done yet. Now, you need to get a pen, you need to get some paper, and start taking down the notes. Take down notes on the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages. Now, once you have those notes, remember, when we take notes for a purpose. We don't just take notes. So using your notes each week, I want you and your friends to write 3 academic summaries of the reading and the listening passages. As you do these academic summaries, make sure that you include voice markers in your summary that tells us who is saying this information. So you might say something like this. In the reading passage, the author argues, state the argument, then blah, 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 blah. See, furthermore, the author claims, blah, 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 and finally, the writer says. So make sure you're always telling your audience who is saying this information. That frames it as an academic summary. Now, if you and your friends are writing at least 3 summaries each week, guess what? You can check each other's writing. You can give your summary to your friend, say, hey, can you read this? Do you notice any glaring grammatical errors? Do you see any problems with word choice? Do you understand what the reading or the listening passage is about based on what I said? Right? So by studying with friends, that can be an advantage. You guys can work together and give each other feedback. Now, in addition to doing some writing practice about the reading and the listening passages, I also recommend that you do some speaking practice. Record your voice, and using your notes again, give maybe 3 or 4 60-second oral summaries each week. Again, you're explaining the information as it comes from the reading or the listening passage. Again, you'll say, according to the lecture, the speaker says. Another point the speaker makes is, and finally the speaker claims. So make sure, again, you're telling who is saying this information. Again, record it. Guess what? You got friends, right? You're studying with friends. You can have your friends listen to your recording. You can listen to theirs. And when you guys listen to each other's recordings, pay attention to 3 things. Pronunciation, language use, that means vocabulary and grammar, and then also organization, what we call, the TOEFL calls, topic development. Now, if you guys do that every week, just doing that for several months, you now develop a little bit better reading, better listening, your note-taking gets better, you'll even get better at writing and speaking about academic type information, right? Okay, now let's make a transition. So far, I've talked about some general things that you can do. Now, I'm going to talk about some things that you can do in my online TOEFL course, right? So my recommendation for you is pretty simple. The first thing that you want to do, because you do have a lot of time here, I'm going to have you go through the first 3 sections of my online TOEFL course first. That means complete the vocabulary, the pronunciation, and the grammar sections of my course. Do that first. That'll probably take you anywhere from 2 to 3 months. Then, once you've done that, then complete the listening and the reading parts of my course. Once you've done that, now you're ready to do the speaking and the writing sections of my course. Right, if you follow my online TOEFL course in that manner, I have plenty enough lessons. I have about 700 lessons to help you improve. And believe it or not, that's probably about 5 to 6 months of instruction. So if you follow my 2-part plan, first, doing the reading, listening, note-taking, writing, speaking practice, you're doing that every day. And then also at the same time each week, you're going through the lessons in my online course, just how I outlined in this video. I think that you definitely can make some very solid improvements with your academic English language proficiency and ultimately your TOEFL. Now, I know the TOEFL is expensive. I know you're on a tight budget. Now, I do have a recommendation. After about 90 days, instead of taking the official TOEFL exam, which costs about $300 or $200, you can take a full-length TOEFL IBT practice test. Now, you're already one of my students, right? So go to the 8th section of my course, right under speaking, you'll see that section. And I have a company that I've contracted with. They're called ScoreNexus. You can take a full-length IBT practice test with them, and they will give you all your subtotal scores in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing, so you can see your subtotal scores. Then they'll give you an overall score. That's going to be important for you because that will tell you how close to your goal you are. You want to get between 80 and 92, so that'll give you information there. Now, maybe 2 or 3 months after that, you can take one more full-length IBT practice test, again, to see what your progress is and where you are. If you're close to your goal, then that tells you you're ready to take the TOEFL IBT exam. You see what I'm saying? So those are my comments for you. Remember, in conclusion to this video, thank you first of all for joining my course. And just remember that only you can use my course with the username and the password that I've sent you. You can't have multiple people using my course. Alrighty? Okay, thank you.